Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Curtis Mack hosting Sound Strategies, and I'm happy to host this podcast series where we speak to industry professionals and we talk about their experiences in those industries. And co-hosting with me is DJ 525. Who are we talking to today, Five?
Today we're talking to Murray Kitchener and we're talking about sales.
Sales. That's a big topic. We have B2B and B2C for people that don't know, business to business and business to customer. So before we get started, Murray, tell everybody your name and what you do.
My name is Murray Kitchener, and I'm an Uber driver.
And how long have you been in sales, Murray?
Curtis, I've been doing sales for probably 40 plus years, something like that.
Domestically in the United States and overseas, right?
Yeah, primarily and for the most part back in the UK. But I've been here nearly 10 years now.
And is there a big difference in sales over there and from here?
Say here, it's people are possibly a bit more open. In the UK, I guess we're a little bit more reticent, not shy, but just more reserved. That is the difference, I would suggest.
Why is sales so important?
Well, I think sales comes into everyday life, basically. We're either selling or we're buying. What is selling in a nutshell is being yourself.
As a salesman, right?
True
salesman.
Yeah. Don't try and put on a false front.
For sure.
Not somebody, I'm this at work, but as soon as I get home, I'm a different personality.
Yeah, you got to bring truth to the table. Truth always outweighs creative. That's what I've always said. Overcoming objections, really, that's how I see sales. You overcome objections, and you just do that in a truthful manner.
They're just questions that need to be answered, aren't they? As a salesman, what I think we try and do is we try and give a customer all the facts. They've got all the information, so they're in the best position to make a good decision for them. It's important that you both have to be winners in this. You can't have a situation where I'm winning and you're losing. It won't last.
I remember my sales manager used to say, when the client sees you coming, they should smile. Because, you mean money, new ideas, that kind of thing. The same thing should happen. I'm sure when you walk into a bar where you're DJing, they're like, oh, Five's coming. I wonder what ideas he has. Or Murray's coming. I wonder what he has or what he's going to bring to the table.
It goes back to being yourself, being honest. You look at referrals. These are crucial now to businesses. The fact is, if you get a bad referral or a bad review from somebody, that can kill you. That can absolutely kill you.
Especially with the online database that's archived.
Yeah.
There forever.
Yeah. I've known people in lots of different businesses, and they will tell you cannot buy referrals. If somebody is happy enough and comfortable enough to tell their friends, you're a good guy, go and see him, you can't buy that.
Word of mouth, I think, is where you're getting at, right?
Yeah.
It's free advertisement. It's the most effective and cheapest way referrals, someone recommending you. That's how I do a lot of my business, is a lot of recommendations. People just like to sometimes just spend money or, buy things from people that they generally like, regardless of what the product is. Sometimes if you just like your salesman, you might buy stuff.
Five, it's a good start. And if you can back that up with the product knowledge and the professionalism, the honesty and the integrity, then you have a situation where when they've signed on the bottom line, they're not having second thoughts. Have I done the right thing?
Facts. And if you're trustworthy, reliable, and do the job right the first time, that helps as well.
Yeah.
As well as a clean environment, good product, and a friendly attitude.
Yeah. Do what you say and say what you do. If I've said I'm going to call you tomorrow, I call you. Don't overlook it. Don't forget it, because that's rude. And B, the fact is that's a bad mark against you, because you've said you're going to do it and then you failed to do so.
And now you're a liar.
Yeah.
More or less. That's what Norman from WRNJ used to say. Shout out to RNJ. He used to say, if you basically in business, if you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you're a liar.
Yeah.
And that's it. Now you can't be trusted. You're not reliable. And now, there it is.
Yeah. It really isn't rocket science, is it? I've worked for companies where we've been told, we're going to adopt a new sales technique or what, and think, here we go. We're going to reinvent the wheel yet again. Whereas just sort of, if you just left the whole thing alone and let people deal with people that they like and know, the business would grow.
Any obstacles with sales?
Well, there's always obstacles. I've been in car sales. I've sold construction equipment, which was sort of high value or whatever. They just want to know the fact that they're buying the right machine and they're getting the right sort of price for it, basically.
Yeah, and they feel empowered, actually, when they do it, because if you're really talking to the foreman or whomever's signing the bottom of that paper, they have a boss as well. Sometimes their job is on the line, as well as your paycheck as well. So everyone should feel positive about this transaction. And a lot of times, Murray, same thing with you, Five, The agreement is when the relationship really starts. There's the evaluation and the troubleshooting forms and the back and forth and the research and development and the prospecting and the initial meetings. And then from there, once you sign, that's when the relationship happens. And that's when I'm, back and forth with I'm doing homework, you're doing homework, we're producing, we're publishing, we're doing stuff together or whatever we're doing as a team. But signing that piece of paper, some people get a little weary when it's time to sign. But really for us, we've done so much back end work before that contract has been presented. And then for that person about to sign it, maybe they've had one or two emails or maybe a meeting or two. But for us, there's a whole list of things that we've done, and usually at no cost. And then when that signature happens, that's when the real work happens.
Yeah. I had a really good customer that I dealt with. Really nice guy. I rang him up, got new machines in. It was from a good manufacturer, so, you knew you were selling a good product. I said, we've got these in, and they were like 18.5 grand each. This is a long time. This is 30 years ago. So that's sterling. So about $20,000. They've got this engine, this transmission, everything. Yeah, sounds good. Are you interested, Bob? Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll take 10 of them. Okay. I haven't even got a brochure on it at that time.
They were that new.
Yeah. And at the time, we could only get 2 a month. This was in the days before the internet. So I said, I'll fax you over an order form. If you can just sign it for me. Yeah, send it across. I'll sign it, send it back. And I went down to see my sales manager. I said, Bob's just ordered some machines. How many? 10. What? And what'd you get for them? That much. Good God. Okay, great. I'm going to fax the order. He'll send it back. He did. Within 10 minutes, it was back, signed, and we banked it, basically. And he took them. I took that as a huge compliment. The fact is, I can't even tell you what they look like.
It's based on your word.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It happens all the time when I'm doing event sales, Murray. We have this client and, we're having this Halloween bash. And before you know it, you start talking about things and I don't even have the flyer in hand and they're like, sign me up.
Yeah.
Because it's coming from a reliable source. We talk about obstacles with sales, right? Whether it's B2B or B2C, there's always some issues like whether it's time, money, or family. Sometimes we could touch on those topics as a salesman. Hey, this will increase time or decrease time, or this will increase or decrease wherever we need to. There also are parameters around sales, right? We have things like internal and external customers. We have your external customers, which is the people buying from you. The internal, which is people you're working with. So we have to be genuine with everybody. Like you said, be yourself no matter where you are. So there's the buyers and information seekers. And then there's also language. What language do you use for a contract? Is it a contract? Is it a work order? What do I use that doesn't scare people? I know you're doing Uber right now, so it's more of a B2C situation. So your B2C would be your external customer would be your rider, right? That's the person that... But then your internal might be you and other Uber drivers, right? You may communicate with other Uber drivers to see what they're doing.
You just have to be honest with people.
Jumping to buyers and information seekers, for me and Five, we get this probably in person more than you would for Ubering because we're doing, those B2B sales. We go to restaurants and organizations and say, hey, we provide marketing, we provide entertainment, we provide event coordination. So, we get some buyers and information seekers, in person, right? Where they say, well, how much does it cost and how long will it be? And what kind of equipment do you have? And this, and then they never end up buying. They just ask a bunch of questions.
Tire kickers.
Yeah. Versus the guy that says, hey, we got an event tonight, 5. I need you on at 9 p.m. The check's on the dresser. Bye. That's a buyer. Maybe if you do a social media post on there, hey, I'm driving now. People say, hey, well, what's your rates? What kind of car do you drive? What are your hours? You're going to get a lot of questions, I feel like, with that, with the buyers and information seekers and with the driving.
I think you just have to be patient, basically. I think you just have to view every conversation as a genuine inquiry.
Yeah, and we talked, you'll be on a directory, so you'll be listed, and they need a ride, and they'll select you. But hey, well, you're just like every other Uber driver. Well, actually, I'm not, because this is what sets me apart.
I'd like to feel I'm professional at what I do. I've got a car which is well maintained. It's safe. I'm a good driver. That's the service I provide. I think there is an element of doubt in this environment where people are, what's the guy going to be like that turns up? And that's not being unkind, but the fact is, what is the car going to be like that I'm going to be sat in? Is it filthy? Are there parts hanging off it or whatever?
With the language, there's not really much language you have to use, but in sales in our world, what do you use for like a contract or a work order? What do you say to your client?
I like the word agreement. So, hey, would I be, okay if I sent you over an agreement? We're agreeing on this time, this date, this location and things. And then that also leaves room sometimes where there is a misunderstanding. This is not what we agreed on in the agreement. So it's kind of like more better sometimes than just using the word contract. when people understand contract, they kind of look at it as you're locked into something.
You need to have something on paper, don't you? Because otherwise it's too woolly. It's too vague.
Yeah, 100%. You know, growing up watching Judge Judy with my aunt and my mom, she's like, did you write anything down on a napkin? It would have been anything. I mean, Jersey, I think, is the only state in the United States that a verbal contract is still like legal binding as long as you have a witness or like a handshake. But I think Jersey's the only spot that's left. So for me, I like to use the term work order. It's non-threatening. It's like, contract, you're right.
5 pages thick with the terms and conditions.
Work orders real quick. Just sign this work order so I can get started.
Yeah.
Right? We came to an agreement. Just sign here. And you move forward real quick.
Well, in the long run, it could actually get a great review.
Yeah. And I think maybe sometimes you're not even looking for that.
It keeps you sharp too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the way you put it too, you guys in general. Who inspired you to do what you do, Murray, in the sales world in general? Like, how did you get started in sales? Like, who inspired you?
I've come across some good guys. I've worked for some good guys. I was sort of thrown into it, but with the jobs I was doing. And the fact was, it comes back to the fact I like to treat everyone the same. One guy in particular, I know, he's actually several years older than me, and he's still selling now.
There you go.
Working for the one company for 50 years. He was hugely successful. His big thing was he would remember everyone's birthday, people's wives' birthday. He would send them flowers on their birthday. He sold everything that we had, and he got great profit margins at it. He's just a phenomenon, to be honest. He didn't retire. The company retired him, but he decided, I don't want to sit at home. So he just kept on doing what he was doing, but in his own right, basically.
And in this whole journey of sales, what's been your most memorable moment in sales?
Well, there've been a few. Actually getting some really good size orders. One particular customer had been running a brand of machine, and we managed to convert him. And in one order, we put in 16 machines in one hit. We actually made the national press. There was a magazine, and my boss and I and the owner of the company were featured in this magazine.
Wow. It
was worth, at that point, which is 30 odd years ago, it was worth £500,000.
What would you say your best experience is in sales? We talked about most memorable moment. You know, you said you're a big ticket item sales, but what about your best experience?
Getting a good reception when you go in and see people. Because I was always taught as well, people always expect to see a salesman when they're in the market. They don't expect to see a salesman when they're not. I'd always go around and just check everything's okay. Any issues with the machines, sort of anything I need to know about the parts and service side. Be the go-to guy, basically. I always tell people I have a cell phone. It's never turned off. You can catch me out of hours. I don't have a problem with that.
It's funny you say that because as a millennial, I'm never turned off, I guess. I guess it should be. But how we grew up from the transition into the technology, our world has slowly transitioned into phone, tablet, MacBook, or whatever computer you have. So no matter where I am, I can get my email or I can get my call or whatever it is. And accessibility is key, especially as a salesperson. You got to be available.
You have to be available. Like I say, I stay to myself. I'm always the easiest person to find. I'm on Google. I'm on the social media, I'm on this, I'm on that. You could find me. And I feel like the more accessible you are, the more opportunities you have to get a sale.
Yeah.
Visibility is key, Murray.
We're always keen to take the sale, but then if there's an issue, we've also got to take ownership of that.
Correct, but at least you can give an answer. And being a salesperson makes you very specific. That's what I've noticed, right? You don't just drive a car. You drive a BMW 335 Xi, right? So the same thing happens with you. You make the sale for, whatever the client is. You sell them the machine. They call you and say, hey, Murray, I have this problem. And you say, well, what is the exact issue you're having? You need to know exactly what the problem is so you can then transfer that information to the right department. It used to happen at the foot doctor I used to work at. They say, oh, the intake system is broken. Meanwhile, I'm the one that ran the intake system. So I said, well, what do you mean by that? It didn't work? They're like, no, it didn't work. I'm like, well, what didn't work about it? Well, it shut off after 30 minutes. Well, it does work. You failed to follow the proper parameters. But when you run in here and start saying, this doesn't work and that doesn't work, you're making me look bad because that's my system.
Yeah.
Sometimes customers don't know how much repercussion happens on the internal side just by making a claim.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, this machine came broken. Very general statement. So
it doesn't work. Yeah.
It doesn't work, right? Yeah. Well, buddy, you got to turn it on.
Yeah.
Have you ran into that? Over your time of sales, you've become more specific?
You don't want to have to repeat the conversation twice, do you? The fact is, again, you don't want anything vague, do you?
Murray, what's the best way for you to be reached?
I have a cell number, obviously.
Do you have any shout outs?
Give me a try. As I say, I'd like to think I'm a safe driver in a safe car. providing safe journeys, basically, for you and your families.
Any final thoughts? Anything that you live by? Any mantras?
Treat people as you want to be treated, basically.
Simple as that.
For sure. And that's sales in a nutshell, too. Treat people how you want to be treated. You almost have to convince people to invest in themselves. They just got to pay you to do it, right? It's that sales manager that wants to order those 20 parts. He just doesn't have the confidence. Well, you're kind of there just to say, you know what, Jim, this is a good decision because it'll help the company and then you'll get a promotion.
Yeah.
So it's really just like convincing people to invest in themselves.
Asking good questions, asking the right questions.
Yeah.
The people will give you the answers, and almost sometimes when you have a really good sale, it's not even like you're selling them. Asking them questions, they're answering the questions, and they're kind of selling themselves.
Yeah,
sometimes.
and to a certain degree, some of the easiest ones are when you say the conversation has almost reached an end, and it's like, should we get this organised? Yeah. Should we get the paperwork sorted? Anything like that. It's fairly non-threatening, but it's just, yep, let's do it. Yeah.
Let's do it. Just for everybody listening, this podcast has been brought to you by Murray Kitchener, providing clean, safe, and reliable rides within Northwest New Jersey via Uber. Schedule your rides in advance via the Uber app. How does that sound, Murray?
Sounds good, mate. Thank you.
You got it, brother. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, thanks, man. Wrote that myself, mate. If anybody doesn't know, we have an ad out there for Tucker's Plumbing. You might hear it, you might not hear it.
Is it still going around?
You might. Maybe I'll play
voiceover
it.
work. He's doing voiceover work.
No, we've done one in the past. We've worked together in the past.
I'd be interested in doing some more. I'll be honest, mate.
You should. I mean, he has the accent going for him, and that's another revenue stream.
Hey neighbor, what's shaking?
More like what's leaking, as in my pipes. Things could get really nasty really quickly if I don't get a move on.
Yikes, have you called a plumber?
Brilliant idea. Do you happen to know a good one?
No, but I know a great one. Tucker's Plumbing in Bud Lake.
Plucker's Tumming?
Tucker's Plumbing. You never get a rookie. You get a master plumber every time.
Sounds like we might have a plan.
We?
My flat is above yours, mate.
Wait, what's a flat?
Tucker's Plumbing in Bud Lake. A master plumber every time.
Thanks, everybody, for listening to Sound Strategies with Curtis Mack, Murray Kitchener, and DJ525. And we've been happy to host this podcast, and we've been talking sales.